Well, it was a good race last time out, and I'm hungry for more. That was like the 6th time I've tried to say that joke. But yeah, moving into Hungary, it looks like we're going to have a good weekend. Mercedes may or may not have got somewhat closer to Red Bull's level. Obviously, we didn't get to see it all play out last weekend. With the sprint race, you kind of did. Once Verstappen got out ahead of Hamilton, it was game. Hamilton couldn't follow into the corners. But it seemed like Mercedes were a bit more on the pace around Britain. Maybe that's something they just did specifically for the home race. We'll have to see. Hungary has historically been a great track for Hamilton, especially. Nico Rosberg even came out and said that it may be one of his best tracks. And actually, if he wins in Hungary this time out, he will go for a new record, 9 wins around one circuit, and that will just... We're not cementing his name in the record books anymore. It's Hamilton. We all know he's maybe the greatest of all time. People definitely don't think that after last weekend, but we've talked to death about that, Sean. But yeah, Red Bull should be strong around here, though. Hungary is Monaco without the walls. We've heard that many times. They went very well in Monaco. They've had the best car throughout the season, it seems. And there's no reason why they shouldn't go well now. One issue could be Verstappen's power unit. Red Bull have said that they are going to be testing that on Friday. It could mean a grid drop for him, but at least he'll be scoring points. I don't think we'll be seeing that championship lead disappearing anytime soon. Yeah, we've not got no double points finale, so it's I think Red Bull will be quietly confident. They have the pace in the car. They've got one of the best drivers on the grid. There is no reason why they shouldn't go forward and clean up in both championships. And there doesn't seem to be much Mercedes or Hamilton can do despite that. But we'll see this weekend how both of them go. The second drivers, Hungary is not an easy lap. It's quite difficult. It's quite intense. And you have to get everything out of the car. Bottas, plenty of experience around Hungary with Mercedes. He should be acing it, but we say that every weekend. He should be acing it. Last weekend, yeah, he came third. He was on the podium. A lot of people are saying that Hamilton's win is just because Bottas gifted it him. Well, no. He came third because Lando Norris had a slow stop, arguably. He couldn't get past Leclerc's Ferrari. Hamilton did. He definitely didn't gift him the win last weekend. The win was never on for Bottas last weekend. He needs to bounce back. It seems like they may have told him he's not got the drive for next year. That's the vibe that's coming out of the Mercedes camp, but he can't let that affect him. If he wants a drive for next year, if Alfa Romeo are knocking on the door, then he needs to prove to them that he's the one that can get it done. Perez didn't have a great race. I don't know what they were doing with the strategy. I actually heard recently that Marco went home after the Verstappen crash. He just decided to leave the circuit. Standard helmet Marco things there. But yeah, he didn't have a great race. The strategy was a bit all over the place. Pick himself up, brush himself off and move on, to be honest. Last weekend was a chance for him to claw back a few points on Verstappen to get that teammate rivalry a bit more equal, and showed the team that when Verstappen does fail, he can be there as that experienced set of hands. Unfortunately, it didn't quite play out that way, but maybe he'll have better time around Hungary. Then for our surprise contenders for this weekend, it might be Ferrari. They went so well around Monaco. Chances are they go pretty well around Hungary. Now they're playing their chances down, obviously. Sorry. They're giving it all this, we're not aiming for a podium. We don't think our pace is going to be that good. We're just going for the top of the midfield in this race. And it's that quiet confidence that we've seen in Monaco, and that we even seen towards the beginning of the season, even in preseason. We've seen a quiet confidence from the Ferrari team that just showed everything was calm. And calmness in a Formula One team usually means good things are coming. So yeah, keep an eye on them. The rivalry between Sainz and Leclerc is just hotting up by the second. They seem to be right next to each other at all the right times. Okay, a 2-6 last weekend wasn't the best for Sainz, but I think he had a slow stop and got trapped behind some other cars. So it wasn't great for him. But Sainz is really proving himself in that car. Then we've got the McLarens. Both of them. Norris, great race. So unfortunate not to get on the podium. I hope he didn't go down the Jenson Button route, never getting a podium in his home race. He was so close. He did everything right. McLaren seems to be doing everything right. The only thorn in their side right now has been Ricciardo's issues, but they seem to be getting better, even if he's not quite matching Norris yet. And Ricciardo has come out and said that it's not a start of the season thing. It's going to be a long-term project to adapt himself to the car and adapt the car to his driving style as well. Maybe that all changes next year. I guess that's what he's banking on. And then we've just got the rest of the midfield. The AlphaTauris, can they make something of the race? Can Tsunoda just have a clean race? He got in the points last weekend with a clean race, and that's all he needs to go on. Gasly was having a great race last weekend until that puncture that saw him take a second stop. Yeah, they just need... I don't know, where's that pace gone that they had in pre-season testing that got everyone excited? Where's the Tsunoda that was, okay, fine, on glory runs, lighting up the timing sheet, getting everyone excited, saying the next Max Verstappen's coming through? That's the young driver that we want to see. And hopefully, now at the midway point of the season, we can start to see him coming out a bit more, getting used to the car and getting used to how much risk he can push with that car. They'll be there or thereabouts, bottom of the points. We know where they're going to be. I'm going to skip the other two teams. I'm going to go straight to Williams because last weekend, at home, Russell got it into Q3. And we know, historically, Hungary has not been a bad hunting ground for him. He almost got it into Q3 a couple of years ago there, I think. And he might surprise some people today, with Hungary being a little bit more difficult to overtake on than Silverstone, a lot more difficult. Monaco without the walls. He might have a decent chance. If he can qualify high, we've not got sprint qualifying this weekend either. So if he can get back into Q3 and pull off a lap like he did, remember he was only a few nothings of a second off a much higher qualifying spot. I think it was 4 100ths or 4 1000ths off 5th. He can really do something this weekend. It's been the starts that he's been struggling with. He's been slipping back. But let's hope finally George Russell can get in the points. I think the sprint qualifying really hurt him last weekend. But yeah, I'm with rumours going around about who's going to be in the Williams next year, with Van Dorn and Nick de Vries being touted as getting that seat. Latifi really needs to put his finger out as well and start matching or getting at least closer to George Russell in qualifying. And in the race is okay, because Russell tends to drop back. But he needs to get a lot closer in qualifying if he wants to keep his seat. Obviously, his dad is paying for the team somewhat, so he might not have that stress on his shoulders. Down the back of the field, you got the Hasses. Nothing to say about the Hasses. I wonder where they'll be this weekend, last and second last. We know that's what that's going to be. The Alfa Romeos have been showing some decent pace. Sometimes they get these flurries of pace, and then it seems to kind of wash away. Again, a bit of a nothing team. And then to this season's biggest nothing team, Alpine. They had a decent race last time out. Alonso was holding people up quite well, and Ocon seemed to get his mojo back. I think it was a chassis change that helped him in that, and he said that now that that's done, he's looking to regain that early season form that he had when he was absolutely trouncing Alonso. Can he do that? I'm not sure, but can he match Alonso? Probably. And that's what the team needs. The team needs both of them to be pushing full steam ahead so they can get the extra prize money and the extra awareness and sponsorship money and everything that comes with a better finishing position to really develop their car for 2022. And hopefully Renault can finally come good on their championship promises. The last team, the only team that we've not spoken about, Aston Martin. Beautiful car. I'll always say that. Moving on to Aston Martin, Vettel and Stroll, both having decent weekends. They seem to just be settling into a car that's just, Sometimes it can do it, sometimes it can't. Stroll had a good sprint race. He seems to be struggling with qualifying. But it seems like in the races, they're not the fastest car. They're by no means the slowest car. It's just neither here nor there for them. I guess they're banking on next year's regulations as well, like many teams are. But yeah, the Hungarian Grand Prix should be a good one to watch. Back to the normal weekend format, but it's going to be all eyes at the top. Can Lewis and Max get around a lap without banging tyres? I'm going to say probably not. And if Max comes off worse again, well, Red Bull are going to be all over the place, aren't they? They're going to have to hire another lawyer and maybe just, yeah,